Hey everyone, Paul Zagorski here for PZ Guitar, your virtual practice partner. Today we're going to practice with 1-minute changes in the key of C. So let's practice. See you in the lab. Hey everyone, Paul Zagorski for PZ Guitar, your virtual practice partner. And while you're thinking about it, please like and subscribe to the channel and provide some comments as to what other keys or what other changes that you might want to try and practice. I'll create a practice session and we can practice them together. And stick around to the end where I'll give you some special tips. So for right now, we're going to practice 1-minute chord changes in the key of C. Key of C, well that means there's going to be a C chord, the 2 chord is going to be D minor, the 3 chord is going to be E minor, then we're going to do F major, and I'm going to do probably the bar chord version of F, but I'm going to provide some alternatives as well. The 5 chord is going to be G. I'm going to be using both a bar chord version as well as the 4-finger G chord, and maybe even using the pinky for a G chord, depending upon the situation. The 6th chord is going to be A minor, and then the B diminished is going to round out our 7 chords that we're going to practice from. So we're going to do 1-minute changes from C to D minor, then we'll do C to E minor, then we'll do C to F, C to G, C to A minor, and then C to B diminished. And that will be it for part 1. Another video will be part 2. Well, we'll start with the 2nd degree of the chord. We'll start with D minor and go all the way out to B diminished, and we'll also do E minor all the way out to A diminished. And then for part 3, we'll do the rest of the chords. F all the way out to diminished, G, and then A minor to B diminished. And that will be all the chords and all the possible changes in the key of C. So right now, let's get ready and let's practice. We're going to do C to D minor. I'm going to put on the screen chord shapes. In case you don't know them, or you could have them as a reference, take a screenshot, copy them down. Or use your own library as to whatever reference you want to be able to do. But I'm going to have these things on the screen. I'm also going to provide you with a little list, a chord changing list, so that you can copy them down and you can track your progress, how many you can do. Tip number 1, before we even begin, this is vitally important. This is not a speed drill. This is not how fast you can change chords. Speed will come eventually on its own. It is much more important when you strum for example, a C chord, that every note rings true and it's clean and it's accurate. So that way when you play a D chord, it's clean and accurate. It's not a question of how fast you can go in between. It's a question of getting them clean and accurate. It doesn't do you any good if the chord doesn't sound like anything, if it sounds like mush. It's important to play clean and accurate. So here we go. You ready? Let's do C to D minor for 1 minute, plus or minus. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about 20 seconds in. Go faster than me or slower than me, but just make sure that they're clean and accurate. There you go. C to D minor. Let's go on from the first chord of the group, C, to the third chord. Let's go from C to E minor. Are you ready? Here we go. I'm just looking at my stopwatch here for an approximate time here. And so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. A few more. Very good. So we've done C to D minor, C to E minor. Now let's do the 1 to the 4, C to the F. Now when it comes to F chords, eventually you want to be able, or you probably would like to be able to play a bar chord. But if you can't play a bar chord right now, my suggestion is I'm going to give you some alternatives, and one of the alternatives is a F major 7. And you can play that by using the top 4 strings. So it's 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret, open. That is a perfectly acceptable F. Or you could also do a favorite of mine, an F major 7, where I use my pinky where my ring finger was, and I move my ring finger to the A string, 3rd fret. That's an inverted F major 7, but it's still an F major 7. It still has all the characteristics of an F major 7, which has all the characteristics of an F chord. Perfectly acceptable. So if you want to use an F major 7, go right ahead. If you want to use a bar chord, please do. So here we go. C to F. I'm going to be using bar chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clean is the key here. That's good enough. Okay. I hope you're able to accomplish that. You ready? Let's move on. Now we're going to do 1 to 5. We're going to do C to G major. And for my G major here, I'm going to be using ring finger on 6th string, 3rd fret, middle finger on 5th string, A string, 2nd fret, and pinky down on the high E string, 3rd fret. That's going to be my G string. That's going to be my G chord, because it's a very close in terms of finger position to the C chord. But you use whatever is available that you are used to, that you want to be able to do best. Remember, this is practice. Practice what you're not good at. Practice what's hard. That way it becomes easy. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Clean is the key here. We're about halfway. Keep it clean. Very good. Very good. We're almost done. We've done C to D minor, C to E minor, C to F, C to G. So now it's going to be C to A minor. And if you notice, if you take a look at your chord diagram, you'll see that C has two fingers that are anchor fingers compared to the A minor. So the only finger I have to move is my ring finger from the A string 3rd fret to the G string 2nd fret. So there's not a lot of movement here, so it should be relatively painless, so to speak. So let's get ready to go with C to A minor in 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. Last one of the day. Here we go. Last chord change of the day for part 1, key of C. We're going to go from C to B diminished. I'm going to be honest, I don't practice B diminished all that often, so this is going to be practice for me as well. So here we go. Are you ready? C to B diminished, the 1 to the 7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. Last C. Well, there you go. Well, guess what? I'm going to be practicing C to B diminished. I'm probably going to be practicing anything to B diminished because that's just not a chord that I play a lot of. Stick around for the recap and I'll give you some tips. See you in just a second. Welcome back. Here's the recap. First of all, thank you all for sticking around for 1 minute changes in the key of C, at least part 1. Parts 2 and 3 will be coming shortly. And the big takeaways from this particular lesson or this particular practice session here is it's important to be able to practice and get used to playing all these chords. They're all important. They are all part of the key of C. They all happen all the time. So it's important that you have a full repertoire, an ever-expanding repertoire of chords that you can call on in a second. The second thing is speed. Right now, if you're a beginner, is your enemy. You want to concentrate on playing cleanly and smoothly and accurately. Speed will come automatically after a time, but you have to get these things down correctly as often, as consistently as you can, because practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. And the last thing you want to do is to spend the next couple of years trying to unwind some bad habits that are keeping you from progressing in your guitar playing adventure. The other thing that I'd like to say as far as a tip is, if there's a chord change here that you find particularly challenging, or if you get good at, use that particular chord change on that strumming pattern, that E minor to A minor with the 4 strums that get progressively faster for your change. Use those chords instead of the E minor to the A minor. Use your 2 chords. Use that lesson, but substitute your own chords. That's a great lesson, because you continually shorten the time that you have before the down strum of the next beat of the next measure. So I hope you enjoyed this. Give a like and subscribe to the channel. If you have other keys that you want to do, please let me know. I'll create a lesson and we can practice that together. And until then, keep practicing.